Hi, everyone. Thanks for spending some time with us this morning. I'm so excited to be up here with these amazing women to talk about how they're transforming their brands and their agencies from the inside, and also helping to drive the advertising and marketing industry forward. So I know you kind of got introduced with your names and titles, but I think it would be good for us to kick things off by having you each kind of give a high-level overview of your career path and how kind of embracing change and innovation on that path kind of led you to where you are now. Actually, Wanda, I know you told me that you kind of built Globant's marketing team essentially from the ground up. So I'd love to maybe have things start off with you.
Yeah, of course. So I don't know how much of you know Globant. Globant is a professional services company. We develop technology and software worldwide for companies like Google, Disney, Electronic Arts, and many companies in different industries in the world. Globant was founded in 2003, and I joined Globant in 2005. It was a startup, I don't know, 80 people or so. So when I joined to do some digital marketing, which at that time was just sending emails, and for a client. And there was no marketing, no communications, no nothing, and our brand was not known as well. And 1 year after I joined, I said, and I asked our CEO, Martin Migoya, hey, why do you think that it would be valuable to have a communications department? I would be happy to lead it.
Yeah.
And he said yes, and that was the beginning of the story. It was a very, very interesting path. I have the pleasure to have lived the whole growth story of Globant. Now we are 30,000 people worldwide. We are listed in the NYSE. We are in more than 40 countries in the world. So it's been quite a ride, a very enjoyable one.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Dara, I know you are sort of newer to your current role, right?
Yes.
And you're basically kind of transforming the marketing strategy of this 40-plus-year-old company. So I'd love to hear more about kind of your role and sort of how you kind of got into that and wanted to kind of shape the marketing at this company.
Yeah, so I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Autodesk, which is the leading design and make software company. So our software is used to design and make anything, really, whether it's products you use and enjoy every day, like your phones or your cars, movies and games that you love, and ads that are winning wonderful awards this year, and also different kind of buildings and infrastructure. So really a wide array. Some days I'm starting my days wearing a construction hat on a construction site.
Oh, wow.
Other days I might be, spending time with our filmmaking customers on an Oscars red carpet. So you never know what a day is going to bring you as a CMO of Autodesk. Before I came to Autodesk, I used to lead marketing, communications, and membership at Peloton. So I don't know if there are any Peloton fans in the house. But, that was... when Autodesk reached out to me, what really appealed to me was this incredible company, technology-based company, over 43 years. We're 43 years old now. And this company touches so much that shapes the world around us. And I love the purpose of the company. The purpose of the company is to design and make a better world for all. So when they reached out to me almost 4 years ago now, I was just intrigued by the purpose of the company. And I felt that there was an opportunity for the marketing to almost match the mission and match the technology. Because the technology was there, the impact we were having in the world was there, but there was really an opportunity for storytelling. So that's what brought me in. And the people are amazing. I always say, at the end of the day, we spend so much time at work, you gotta like who you work with. And our CEO, Andrew Anagnos, is just incredibly amazing human, and he actually used to be the CMO before, so it's great to kind of work for a CEO who has been in your shoes and really understands the challenges of what it's like to be a CMO. So to just learn from him, I joke with him a lot. I'm like, Andrew, we both went to Stanford, but you had got the PhD, I got the MBA, different kind of CMO, but to have that opportunity to learn and really drive and tell the story in an engaging way and showcase the breadth of what we have to offer was what was really appealing.
Amazing. And Patty, did you want to kind of talk about how you got to kind of your this point on your career path?
Sure. So I've had many chapters of my career. I started in insurance and then ended up working in marketing on Wall Street. And from there, went on for a 20-year career in B2B working at Dun & Bradstreet, where I had a lot of different types of roles. I didn't start my career kind of in the people business. And I made a pivot into this amazing industry 14 years ago. And it's been an amazing journey going from being in different industries and embracing what goes on here. And at the same time, I was a single parent raising 2 sons. So it's been really wonderful to grow and develop through those different changes and to realize my dream of always wanting to make an impact with people. When I was in the chief HR officer job at D&B, it's a lot of board meetings, a lot of regulation, a lot of compliance with a public company. And here at Havas, it's been amazing to be able to really build out what it means to support our people and to bring those programs around the globe to all of our agencies.
Great. Yeah, maybe you guys are sick of hearing about AI this week, but I feel like you can't really talk about change and transformation without AI. So Patty, we were actually talking before this, and you mentioned that you've sort of seen this sort of confidence gap when it comes to women leaders like adopting some of these newer AI technologies compared to their male counterparts. Can you talk a little bit more about like why you think we're seeing that gap and sort of some of the ways we might be able to kind of help bridge it?
Yeah, so just a couple data points that I think are important. I'll just use my notes to make sure I get them right. So the first thing is that global usage of AI tools is tracking at 59% men and 41% women. And some of the reasons that the research is showing that that's happening is women have a little bit of a fear of being judged, so having the tool do some of the work instead of doing the work themselves. There's a lack of training. There's some ethical dilemmas when you look at the CSR components and whatnot of AI. But what's most stunning about this is, it's a tool that learns through the prompts and questions, and women think and ask questions differently. So we really need to close this gap, or the tool is going to be biased, and it's not going to be as useful to all of us. The other piece of this is also women in AI roles. So right now, 74% of AI roles are held by men and 26% by women. And women only represent about 18% of AI researchers. So these are all gaps that we collectively have to work to close, or, it's the word of the week here, right? And we don't want to have something that is, kind of the red line through our industry that doesn't have our voices and our powerful thinking in it.
Yeah. I know you guys are all sort of starting to incorporate AI into your sort of like daily workflow and like the marketing at some of your companies. I know, Wanda, you said you have this cool initiative where like all the different teams have to like be kind of working on these like AI projects, like kind of like constantly, I guess, like sort of ongoing projects. So can you talk more about that program?
Yes, of course. So for Globant, AI has been one of our goals since before the rise of Gen AI. So like 10 years ago, we started focusing on everything what we do on AI. And 5 years ago or so, our CEO gave us all the mandate of training all our employees, all our Globers on AI. So that probably is something that is helping reduce that bridge, because we have everyone, not just technology profiles, finance, HR, marketing, everyone was trained on that. And now, what he has said, and going back to to what you were saying, he has asked us and all the departments to create our own AI flagship project, which means how are we going to reinvent our own areas and our own way of doing things with AI. And that also enables us to keep on learning and keep on looking what's out there, what tools are coming from companies like Autodesk and from others, and embedding them in our daily works. And it's proving to be very successful.
Yeah, I think that hands-on learning is probably the most effective way to kind of get used to some of these tools. Dara, how about you? How are you guys starting to kind of integrate AI into how you work?
Yeah, just like, she was talking about Autodesk, we have had AI be a part of our offerings for a long time. So we have had AI be a part of our software for over a decade. So AI is not new to Autodesk. Now, I will say the clip or the pace at which we are adopting AI within our marketing organization has greatly accelerated. So we recently, Autodesk, because we span so many design and make industries, right? Architecture, construction, engineering, product design, manufacturing, media, entertainment, marketing, advertising. So we did an AI jobs report, which we just released. You can access it on our website, that essentially said, how is AI changing? How is AI evolving? And we found out that since 2022, the demand for AI skills in all roles, so not just technical roles, but non-technical roles, has increased by 640%. This year alone, just January till April, that's like a quarter, has increased by 56%. So now people are expecting, you want to be a content creator, you want to be a brand manager, you want to be a strategist. People are expecting that you are AI proficient at least, and ideally they want you to have a certain level of fluency. So this mindset has to change. The mindset that Patty was referencing has to evolve, because as women, if we feel like using AI is cheating, we're actually cheating ourselves. Because all of a sudden, we are not as competitive as other people who might be leveraging AI. So one of the things that I have done within my marketing organization is started an AI academy. I want 100% of my team trained on how to use AI and how to use AI well. Because AI is raising the floor. We've all gotten those emails, I saw you 5 minutes ago. You're asking me, I hope you are well. I mean, I'm well. I just saw you. Clearly, you just used ChatGPT to construct that email, and you didn't even bother to edit it. So it's not just about knowing how to use AI, but it's like, how do you use it well? Because we don't just want to raise the floor. As women, we don't want to be at the bottom of the floor. We want to be breaking and cracking through that ceiling. So we have to be excellent at using AI. So we're not, sending people we just saw 5 minutes ago saying, I hope you are well. But we understand how to construct a great prompt and improve not only the efficiency of the work that we do, but the effectiveness of it as well.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really great. And also like what you said about like AI not being like cheating, it's just kind of like staying competitive and staying up to date with like how the industry is evolving. I think that's a good perspective to take. Yeah, and I think also kind of what you guys have been saying about these like internal initiatives to make sure like everyone's kind of keeping up with these tools, not just like the tech department. I think is really important as well, especially when it comes to kind of ushering in the next generation of female leaders. So I don't know, in terms of like mentorship or professional development opportunities within your companies, I guess besides like kind of these AI programs, like how else are you kind of helping to ensure that these like next generation of leaders are also kind of going to embrace that same like transformational innovative mindset?
Well, I can talk about our Fem Forward program. So Fem Forward is really focused on our senior manager, creative director level. And it's been in existence since 2018. It's really about helping that level of women advance in their careers, because we saw that when they got to that level, the men continued advancing and the women paused. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But we have our Fem Forward Frida group here, which is our specialized Fem Forward for creative directors. And this is not only a leadership development program for them, but it's also an opportunity for them to be here in Cannes. They've each been matched up with one of our global chief creative officers. And it's an experience that allows them to kind of broaden, see what's going on with the work at the Palais, take in a lot of content, and help them go back and be more confident creative directors so that they can then move into our senior levels. And that's what I'm counting on all of them to do over there in that corner.
No pressure.
Yeah, at Autodesk, I think there's two ways we're looking at it. First of all, how are we helping all our people and our women internally, and how are we helping our customers? So I'll start with our customers. Patty mentioned and talked a little bit about the mindset. What we have learned with, from seeing what's happening with women creatives in general, but women specifically as well, is creatives want to be in control of the work that is happening, right? They're passionate about their craft. So a little bit of what is making people kind of take themselves out of using tools like AI is they don't want Gen AI tools that push them into predetermined outcomes. So we created Autodesk Flow Studio, which is our AI-powered visual effects software that helps creatives but puts them in control. So as opposed to you being forced into a predetermined outcome, yes, you have the AI horsepower to help you, but you get to determine the direction. It's almost like a tandem bike. You know, you're in front of the tandem bike. Someone else is adding, additional help with pedal support, but you're the one determining how fast we go. Where are we going? What direction are we going? You're in control. So that's one of the tools that we have made available, and we make accessible to women and all people who are students and educators for free.
Oh, wow.
So we make our Autodesk Flow Studio is available and accessible to students and educators all around the world for free. So that's one of the ways, because accessibility is important. You know, for women especially, they need to use it, they need to master it, they need to feel in control. We've all heard that story where, man comes in for a job, he checks 3 boxes, he's hella confident. The woman shows up, she checks 7, and she's like, oh my, clutching my pearls. It's like, so we want to make sure that accessibility is important so women are feeling really supported. And then at Autodesk, we have a couple of different leadership programs. We have our Next Level program, which we're a global company as well, operating in over 100 countries. So we want to make sure, and in different countries, how women are treated varies, right? And so we have this Next Level program that's essentially looking at not just that senior level of women, but also mid-level talent, starting to invest and build the pipeline. And then we have a leadership development program that's really focusing on helping to develop the next level of executives. So we're making sure that we're attacking it not just at the mid-level and at the most senior level, because sometimes, you're in those meetings and they're like, well, we don't have a pipeline. Well, it's not a pipeline problem, it's an opportunity problem. We need to create the opportunity up and down the funnel. Just like we do in marketing, we need to do it on the people side too.
That's great, very interesting. For me, it's a matter of also focusing, and at Globant we put a lot of emphasis on trying to promote diversity and inclusion. A couple of years ago, we launched an initiative that is called a program, not an initiative, that is called Be Kind, which basically intends to bridge the gap between male and female, especially in the IT sector, which is huge, and it's pretty similar to the numbers that you said in terms of professionals that are focusing on AI, in technology, in all technology, it's pretty much the same. And within Be Kind, we have found that all the life cycle of women, that we need to try to come up with ways of building and bridging this gap. So we started first going into schools, because we have to get more women to study technology, and promoting that within middle schools and senior schools and colleges, before they go into colleges, like showing what's out there, what they can learn, why it is an opportunity and a good career path for them. We call them Inspire Garage. Then when they join our company, of course, we have a She Leads program, and it's a mentorship program where we help women understand the opportunities and try to get out of that imposter syndrome, so that they have a way and they can think that they are valuable, that they are prepared to take the next steps in their career. And finally, and I think that this is one important program that we have launched, is how to put on the spot the program and the leading women. And it's pretty similar to this program. We call it Women That Build. And it showcases leaders that are making changes in our industry. Whether it is a NGO, it is a company, it is a university, whatever. They are producing change in the IT sector or helping other kids or women to incorporate or create innovation. And we put them there. We give them an award, and it's a matter of inspiring more people and more women to take the lead and to take their career in their hands.
That's great. Yeah, you have to have like a model to kind of aspire towards, definitely. Yeah, and I know that being a transformative leader also involves not just like maybe one success and then kind of just resting on your laurels. It's like a matter of kind of adopting a mindset of like constant growth and experimentation and learning. So maybe if you guys have advice for the room about sort of like any like tips you have for sort of adopting and maintaining that mindset, like kind of like always being open to learn about some of these new changes in the industry and like bring them into your kind of marketing strategy or other strategy?
I think that it's, of course, a constant learning approach and mindset is very important, but also learn how to learn, and that's one important thing that we have to transmit to our teams. There are tools, thousands of tools out there, and we have been learning a lot during this week, and all the major companies are launching new products, new ways of creating campaigns, creating assets, creating like videos, whatever. So being in this constant learning and learning how to adopt new knowledge, I think that it's the most important thing that we have to focus on right now.
Yeah, I plus one to that. And what I would say is I think that it's important to swim, not skim. We live very much in a skimming culture. You talk to someone, they're talking to you like they know what they're talking about. It's like you just read a tweet. You have no idea what you're talking about. You read 30, you read 10 words, and now you think you're an expert. And so there's a big difference between people who actually invest the time to get deep. So my encouragement is get deep. Swim. Actually spend the time to master and learn, because that is how you differentiate yourself. And what I will say is happening with AI, and we don't like to talk about it a lot, but it's true, AI is going to widen the inequality, because some people are going to become superhuman, because they're going to figure out how to get things done really well. And the floor will be raised for everybody, but there's going to be a wider gap between the rock stars and the everyday people. So for us, how do we stay ahead? How do we give ourselves that competitive edge? I think that, and especially just knowing as women, we have a lot more confidence when we know about things, because somehow we like to talk about things we know about. So let's actually spend the time and invest the time. So I would say focus on trying to be that person that swims, not skims. And if you find a lot of people talking about stuff that they're skimming on, maybe that might give you insight into something that you want to go deep on, because that's how you're going to differentiate yourself to your leaders, to your teams, etc. I had someone just send me recently a whole thing, MCP servers, right? This is a huge thing now happening in technology. And I had someone on my team just kind of send me a whole presentation that she had done on it. So she's differentiated herself. She just, hey, Dara, I don't know if you've been thinking. I was like, yeah, I've been thinking about it, but I hadn't even been swimming as deep as you, girl. That's impressive. All of a sudden, this is someone that's on my radar that wasn't on my radar yesterday.
She's at the bottom of the pool. She's not just...
Girl, she's cracking right up there.
I think you have to embrace curiosity. And I've always had a model of test, learn, scale, evolve. So don't feel like you have to take on AI in its totality, if you will. Go in and test, learn some things. You'll get more curious, you'll learn more, and you'll find you'll scale yourself, and in that scaling, you will evolve. The other thing I think that is just really important for women is as we move at this pace and embrace change and lean into it, you have to remember your well-being. It's a piece that we quite often will put behind or put in last place. But to all the things that Wanda and Dara have said, you have to have the fuel and the energy. Your mind has to be rested and ready to lean in and do these different things. So make sure you have your own well-being as a component of how you lean in and grow.
Awesome.